4G LTE has the fastest speeds. So let's talk about coverage. Based on this chart, who would you choose?
Wow.
Pretty obvious. What's pretty obvious about it?
Verizon has the coverage.
Verizon, more 4G LTE coverage than all other networks combined.
We're now ready to release the first results from today's exit polls of voters around the country. Our chief national correspondent, John King, has been reviewing all the data. What are you seeing there, John?
Wolf, we'll give you a glimpse first of what's on the mind of voters nationally as they go to the poll, and then we'll zero in on one of the key early battleground states, the states of Virginia. No surprise here, 60% of voters nationwide today say the most important issue facing the country is the economy. Now, a bit later when the polls start closing, we'll show you how these voters broke down. We can't do that right now because the polls are open across the country. But 6 in 10 Americans today, as they went to the polls, said that's issue number one. 15% said the deficit. 17% said health care. So personal economic issues dominating the electorate. Only 4%, Wolf, saying foreign policy is the most important issue facing the country. What's the most important candidate quality when you pick a president? You see an interesting split here. 29% say a vision for the future. 28% say shares my values. Now, the president has won on that in pre-election polls. We'll see how he did on Election Day. Strong leader, this is an area where Governor Romney hopes to do well. About 20% of Americans said strong leader is the most important quality. Cares about people. You might lump that in with shares my value, more of an empathy there on that question. Again, that's nationally, the national electorate. Who is more in touch with people like you? Well, the president wins on that one. 52% of Americans say President Obama is more in touch with people like them. 44% for Governor Romney. We see how that plays out in the characteristics as people choose a candidate. But then we ask this question: who would better handle the economy? As we said, 6 in 10 Americans say that's the top issue, and Governor Romney wins on that issue. 51% nationally say Governor Romney would better handle the economy. A narrow edge, 47% saying the president would better handle the economy. Now let's shift into one of the early key battleground states. Here's a piece of demographic information that could prove to be important. 21% of voters in Virginia today describe themselves as white evangelical Christians. That number, when President Obama carried the state 4 years ago, was higher. It was about 28% of the Virginia electorate 4 years ago were evangelicals. That could be. We're not looking at the results yet. We'll see how that plays out down the road. That could be an issue for Governor Romney. He needs not only high support among evangelicals, but he's hoping for a high evangelical turnout, that number down from 2008. We'll see how that plays out. And yet, here's some encouraging news, if you will, for Governor Romney. Should the 2010 health care law be repealed? Nearly half of Virginia voters say yes. That has been a key plank in Governor Romney's agenda, Wolf, as you know, to repeal Obamacare, as he calls it. 49% of Virginians say yes. 46% say no. So a pretty healthy divide on this question in what we assume will be a pretty evenly divided battleground state of Virginia, at least if you looked at the pre-election polls. One more question here just on this one state. We showed you the national numbers, and in Virginia pretty much tracks the national numbers. More than half of the voters today, 53%, say the Republican nominee, Mitt Romney, would better handle the economy, their top issue, of course, and Wolf, 45%, say the president would better handle the economy. So when you go through these numbers on candidate qualities and on the issues, a pretty even divide. It suggests, as we thought coming in, we've got a close competitive